You got to do a little clap sync.
Just a little clap sync.
What do you think of Floch?
Oh God, I mean, scum of the earth. In all honesty, I think one of my favorite things over the last week has just been everyone on social media and TikTok being like, Floch survived. Great.
Cool. My favorite character, Floch. I love him. Well,
which is funny because a lot of the people that are like, Floch's great are also the people that are like, I'm a Jaeger. Well, like, yeah. Not a good look. Not a good look. If you like Floch, it's not a good look, guys.
Well, for all you Floch supporters, hello, welcome to 2Fast2Movie. I'm your host, Abraham, and that is Ben. And today we're talking about Season 4, Episode 7 of Attack on Titan.
This group. Oh,
this isn't even Shiganshina. This is just another place.
No, that was one of Annie's old comrades.
Yeah, it's Hitch.
Oh, right. Yeah, she has a name.
Yeah.
The strivings and nationalism. It's the exact debate that we're having right now.
It's the commentary outside of the show.
Uh-oh.
Someone forgot their towel. You ever do that? Take a shower and you're like, shit, my towel's in my room.
You're implying that she, like, nakedly screeded through the everything.
Hi, Annie.
Female Titan is back.
I missed you, Annie.
Oh.
That's actually awful.
Oh.
That's terrible.
That explains why the dad looks nothing like her.
Yeah.
That really gives us the context for that.
Yep.
Oh, we're finally acknowledging that the flashbacks when she was surrounded by trees were a little bit silly.
Were they?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
They were in an internment zone. They wouldn't have been in forest as LDs.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't even think that was written at the time.
Yeah,
So-
the flashbacks were in forest, and then
Yeah.
by the time he figures out the internment zone thing, it's like, that's a retcon.
Yeah.
But you could also argue that the forests were symbolism for the larger forest that they're all lost in.
Sure. Why not?
I will say, this makes her Lost Girls episode 10 times better.
Yeah. Especially because the father-daughter relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it mirrors
the foiling that's going on there is actually kind of perfect.
Yeah. No, but actually, that's the reason why he needs them inside.
Oh.
Yeah. Because he's like, you're not going to win against them.
Yeah,
So
not
just-
not in an all-out fight.
Yeah.
There needs to be subterfuge, for sure.
Damn.
Yeah.
I love
No,
Armin
yeah.
so much.
This is what I was talking about. They needed Gabi in order to get there. Yeah, we're
Armin's like, we're fucked.
yeah.
Oh.
And
Oh.
ah
Yeah, it's
no,
not fun.
girl, I'm sorry.
That's wild. That's still, even though, like, oh my god.
Wow, Attack on Titan fandom, take some fucking notes.
Catch this L, Gabi haters.
Someone seems like he's lying. I so badly want Jean to fucking just go for a kill. So badly. Fuck. Yeah, he's gonna hesitate. Yeah, he's gonna hesitate.
Thank goodness Connie's a nice person. Is there any way to stop it?
ないただ最後までみっともなくもがくまでだ
Wait. Just.
とりあえず食べないで。こちらには何の武器もありません。
You want to be best friends? Let's be best friends.
あっちに誰かいる？ご安心ください。あれは人畜無害の死に損ないです。
He's still alive.
Yep, he's still alive, and also an Armin and Gabi combo.
Oh, I'm actually kind of excited for that.
Yeah, that's my unexpected pairing. Well, we're gonna go ahead and break this episode down. We'll see you in the post discussion. It's episode 82 of the whole series, and it's called Sunset. I don't know the episode number of.
It's in the title down below.
Oh no, it's episode 7 of part 2 of season
part 2.
4.
This is where shit gets wrecked.
Well, we're already dealing with a lot, so
there's math's hard, man.
Yeah, math is hard, and you know what else is hard? Dealing with the apocalypse.
Yes. Yeah, those two things coincide all the time for me.
Exactly. It really ballpark, you know.
Yeah,
same emotional range.
I'd say so. I've struggled with the apocalypse as much as I have all of my math tests.
Yep, all these 2 years. Anyways, I really like this episode. I mean, we were saying before they're doing a lot to slow the pace down and really reflect on the first 4 episodes of season 4, part 2. How are you feeling after this one?
Very good. I'm enjoying the slower pace because we've been on an absolute roller coaster of a high.
Yep.
And like I can already tell like this is going to be just kind of time for the Attack on Titan viewer base and anime only to chill the fuck out.
Yep.
That's what this is. And then there is also the return of my wife. Annie Lionheart back.
My wife.
Are you? Is that too much for you?
I didn't expect. It took me a while for you to be like, "Oh, like my anime." Okay, I get what you meant. I was really
No. My wife. I can't say waifu and do the Borat voice at the same time. I'm not gonna cross that bridge.
I was so thrown off by the Borat voice that I just didn't connect the dots. But anyways, before we begin, go ahead and hit the like button and let us know what you thought about this episode down in the comment section down below. We take some time to read some of your comments, and we're gonna do so in the future for next week's episode. So just go ahead and do that, and we'll do that. I said that 3 times, but it doesn't really matter because
it's fine.
It's fine. You guys will listen anyway. So let's first talk about the one, the only anime wife, Annie Lionheart.
Oh no, this is gonna be the running bit for the rest of the season.
Yep, my wife. Anyways, okay, Annie's
back.
She's back.
She's back.
And we not only got her, but we also got her entire backstory,
which. Here's the thing, like, Annie has always been a character that we have gotten, like, bits and pieces, and enough to really understand. There wasn't anything in here that was so new that we weren't anticipating it. We always knew that she had a complicated relationship with her father, but that her father was honestly the only through line that we saw with her and her mission.
Yes.
It's one of the reasons why when the mission was failing, she's just like, I just want to go home.
Yeah.
Let's turn this ship around. Because when the mission starts failing that bad and like you immediately lose the Jaw Titan and you're a bunch of kiddos about to cause a mass genocide, it's sometimes you just want to go home to your dad.
Yeah, and then her freak out in the end of season 1 where she was like really just like screaming loudly, crying the whole time. Really, a lot of this, like we knew a lot of this already. Yeah. But what's great about this is that we not only get the backstory, but we also get it as a reflection of her past actions.
Exactly.
Which is a nice addition and a nice insight into her character, especially now that she's been gone and actually gone for 4 years.
And it also explores this thing that I always had in the back of my head of like, this system for how Marleyan soldier warrior candidates are picked seems like it would lead to a lot of abusive parenting. And we've seen this with Grisha.
Yeah.
And Zeke. However, with Zeke, it was significantly less violent and more emotional abuse.
Yes.
However, this time we saw we're seeing physical abuse manifesting in this relationship.
Yep.
And we're also getting the very complicated side of this, of the fact that this is still this person's kid, and they're going to still treat and see them as their own daughter, which is the reason why the relationship's so complex. I do not condone beating your child into and teaching them martial arts to that extremity in order to get them to become a child soldier. I'm not saying that that's a good thing. I am saying that it is complicated and has nuance.
As if the situation would ever come up.
Child soldiers exist, but that's not a real world thing.
Training your child so that you can get bonds from the government to do like that. It's so...
Okay, no, hold up. We live in the United States, man. That's college.
But it's not military, though. They don't get... The military isn't involved in that. It's a separate entity who comes in and takes your children away. Anyways...
Jesus Christ. Where are we?
I did want to talk about one thing, about Annie being conscious throughout the whole time in the crystal. If you remember, the show has always been told from Armin's POV narrating. Yeah. Do you remember that? And if you remember in season 4, part 1, the narration stopped after the scene where we first got reintroduced to Annie and the crystal.
Interesting.
Implying that everything, all the narration that we've been hearing
up until this point has been Armin talking to Annie.
Yeah.
I think I caught onto that when we first did we first watched that episode.
Yeah, it's just for people who like might have not rewatched it in a while. That's what that is, and that's how she
and she knows the whole story from that. That is, I did forget about that, but I remember us like having this conversation when we first filmed that like over a year ago when we started this podcast.
Oh yeah, been a while.
Yeah, we've come a long way, my dude. But the Armin narration thing, like, really, this is going to be so interesting because really the only points of contact that she has had the entire time has been Armin and Hitch.
Yeah.
And that's all she knows about the outside world, which means that alternatively, an alternative version of Attack on Titan is actually, keep in mind, she has been hearing the same story that we all have been hearing.
Yep.
She also has been hearing whatever the fuck Hitch has been saying. So there is an alternative version of Attack on Titan from Annie's perspective, where all these stories are broken up with whatever Hitch is talking about.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like, we got the edited version.
Yeah.
Probably, like, if Annie was the story editor, she cut out everything Hitch said.
God, I want that OVA of just Annie's internal monologue talking, like, but closed mouth, while Hitch is just like, this guy came over, he's like a new recruit, and he tried to hit it, like, all that. Yeah, like, all of that bullshit. That'd be so hilarious. But,
there we go.
But we're not the time. Not the time for that.
We need some levity. We do.
We do. We need it. Because back to Marley in the internment zone. Jesus Christ. So Annie's dad is trying to tell the guards, like, hey, we all had a simultaneous dream in a nebulous desert where Eren Yeager told us that he was going to
kill all of us.
Which, I mean,
okay, I understand where the guards are coming from on that standpoint of just like, there's no way they didn't just fucking talk about it. Because from their standpoint, they're just like, you guys have weird Titan things, but you guys can't talk telepath. Like, like, they don't have, like, all that they know is these people turn into Titans sometimes.
And then that leads to all of them being arrested and for Annie to flash back, like, you know, paralleling Annie's to the conversation that he had with Annie before she left. And then he goes for the gun. And then we hear a gunshot and then it cuts to black.
Here's the thing. From a narrative standpoint, I don't think that he died there.
Okay.
I think he's probably gravely injured, but I don't see the point in the narrative of having that district fall right there to the hands of those people without it turning into a simultaneous. Like, for me, I would much rather see a narrative where there is simultaneously an Eldian uprising and there's a bunch of Titans coming out of the ocean and it's a goddamn, and it's just Nightmare City.
So
it's
more
just
chaos.
like total descent into anarchy.
That would naturally happen.
Yeah, like that is where I see this going. And there is kind of a question of Annie's going to eventually find out that her dad is dead one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is what's more impactful for her character, him dying because of the rumbling or him dying because he was shot by a soldier while trying to start all this up.
Mm-hmm.
And it could go either way, but I'd rather not see it end there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather see it end with the rumbling for him.
Do you think that a reunion is even possible?
Unless Annie can fly?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Well,
no. Honestly, there's even a solid chance that with the way that the rumbling would work, when she gets to the Liberia district, she might only like find a piece of her dad, if anything.
ugh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, those grim thoughts aside, we got to move on because everybody's stressing, including our best boy, Armin. I got to say, Armin, especially in this arc, is my favorite character. Armin is probably the best he's ever been.
Yeah.
And it's not even when he has a plan.
Well,
Like, he's like, I'm going to go tell Connie that, like, yeah, his mom should stay a Titan and that we should all work together to, like, stop this.
yes.
But, like, that's not, like, as great of a plan as, like, stopping Berchtold or plugging up the hole. Like, this is just him.
He's now in, like, I have to improvise mode.
Mm-hmm.
And Armin's very good at everything he does.
Yeah.
Well, not everything.
No.
He's not good in a physical fight. It's actually kind of good that he's going up against Connie because, like, I can't judge what that's gonna look like.
Yeah.
We do know that they are going to be facing off in some way. Whether or not Armin can talk him down is up for debate. They make a call that is like, oh, well, he'll probably hesitate. And then we see later in the episode that Connie talking with Falco, and we're all like, yeah, he's going to hesitate. You guys have some time.
Mm-hmm.
It's poor Armin, though, because, like, this is like,
yeah.
this is him taking care of, like, one small issue.
Yeah, he lists
Within everything else.
because he lists them all. Like, the military chain of command is broken. It's all chaos. Floch is a problem. Historia could be in danger. They literally have no idea where the fuck Historia is.
Yeah.
Like, that's not their prerogative, I don't think. And then Mikasa has, I wouldn't say the gall, but, like, she, like, brings up Eren, like, flippantly. Like, just kind of, like, offhand.
Yeah.
Like, what about Eren? And that just sets him off. Like, what about him? Like, we got... He's a lost. He literally calls him a lost cause.
Yeah, and I think that's justifiable because this is like the kind of betrayal. Because I don't think Eren realized that the moment he started the rumbling was when the moment that his friends were going to be in the most peril ever.
Yeah,
and the fact that he did not include them in this conversation, he did not work with them to try and actually workshop something, and essentially debatably left Floch in charge.
Mm-hmm.
He's set up a situation where he could finish the rumbling, come back home, and all of his friends will be dead, which is the exact opposite of what he wanted.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I killed everybody for you guys. Like, I didn't ask for that.
Yeah.
Like, Armin, and the guilt that we were talking about earlier, like the survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
It's tenfold now because he's now grappling with the fact that his friend is killing everyone supposedly on his behalf.
Exactly.
Which
is not something that Armin or frankly like most of the
Mikasa too.
Yeah,
like,
it's not something that like any Squad Levi wanted.
No.
It's not something that they agreed upon. Eren's just a fucking sociopath.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
like everybody, Eren.
I love
children, all the anybody who's
and I love that moment of just like, yeah, if we just crush the fucking Marla, if we just crush their district and like go after the military and end it there, no one's gonna actively try to attack us, and we can work from there.
Yeah.
Like, that gives you negotiation power when the one army that is actively fucking with your shit, you stomp them out and then go, okay, guys, now let's have an actual conversation about what world peace looks like.
Yeah. And it's crazy, too, because even when they were taking the ships in Marley, you can destroy a military without losing lives. Because, like, remember, Armin in part 1 transformed in the harbor, scared off the people off the boats, and then took the ship.
Exactly.
It's very possible to unleash a few Titans, destroy the military,
and
minimal casualties.
Do it in one fell swoop, because sure, they have the anti-Titan rifles. Anti-Titan rifles are not going to do shit against a small-scale rumbling.
Against Colossal Titan, because there's no nape. There is a nape, but
you can't.
There's no shifter.
Well, there's no shifter in that, but also you can't aim it. Like, it would take a lot of work to get it up there, and also you wouldn't in actuality be able to do that much.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's a line of them. There's multiple.
Yeah. Eren's plan is zealotry, in all honesty. And that's the thing, is that a lot of this could have been avoided if Eren just did the small scale rumbling as they were originally planning on from a military standpoint.
The problem is with the small. Here's the thing, and actually, I did want to note this because a commenter did point this out in a comment.
Yeah,
the reason why a small scale rumbling and a test run of the rumbling is bad from Eren's point of view, at least with the information that the show's presented, is because that would mean that they would be inheriting the Beast Titan and the Founding Titan down generation for years to come, which means that Historia
would turn into a baby making factory, and
like with the ethics of that, it's also fucked up.
I will say it is, and that's the thing, is Eren is overestimating. Well, it's not just that. Eren's taking choice away from other people in this. It is wholeheartedly a selfish endeavor. Because
that's not true.
No,
I cannot agree with that.
So here's
wholeheartedly. I feel like that's an extreme word.
Okay,
I will say that there is, like you're saying, it is selfish to say like I'm doing this for you when it's such an extreme thing.
Yes,
but to say that there isn't any sense of like, because the alternative would mean sacrificing his friends.
It would. However, here's the thing: that's not his choice to make.
Well, again, we haven't seen Historia, so we don't even know.
We don't know. We do not know hers. But I'm just saying, like, even from another standpoint, if that is what it would have taken, and if that is what people would have rather done than unleashing a world-ending event, then it's only his choice because he holds all that power. But for everyone else, no one wanted that.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, if we go to Historia's point of view, and then suddenly we find out that he worked with Historia to perhaps maybe execute this plan, and that she's known the entire time and agreed that this was the only way to do it out of her own self-preservation, then that's a different story. Then she made that choice. But
yeah, I'm just saying, like, there's still
other stuff we don't know.
We don't know any, like, we don't even know what Eren is thinking. We know what he's saying and what he's doing.
I'm actually not. I'm gonna say from you might be able to say that from a manga reader standpoint. That's not what it feels like for us as viewers
again.
Right
now. That's fair because again, world ending is an extreme.
Yeah,
and to have that kind of hate, it like leads you to one conclusion. That being said, when time travel is involved and when your own Eren's POV. Like, from him, literally, we haven't had a moment where he has thought to himself and we hear his narration since season 3 episode finale. And whether or not that's going to affect it, and again, I have to say, I don't remember much from the Eren POV because my interpretation of that may have been wrong on my reading because a commenter also did say something that tipped me off. So I'm also kind of in the dark on Eren's POV. I'm not coming at this from I know what's going to happen.
Gotcha.
I'm coming at this from I don't remember, and also I might have misinterpreted.
Gotcha.
So with Eren, I just don't know.
So I'm from an anime only perspective right now. This is one of the only times where it feels like we actually have a solid understanding of where he's coming from and what he's doing.
Okay.
It isn't 100. It's not because we've had a POV, but it's because everything has finally started to line up. His motives are finally actually lined up.
Fair.
And that's the reason why it doesn't feel like we need to hear more from Eren, because they're not.
You think it's going to be like more of the same, basically? Or
Well, no. We'll eventually hear. We'll eventually hear from him at some point. We will eventually get that beat where we get a more solid Eren POV. Whether it'll be in this season or the movie is up for interpretation. The viewpoint from an anime only theme right now, though, is that there's not much else that we could even imagine knowing at this point. So there might be something else that will pop up, and there most definitely will be. But it would, again, have to be really drastic in order to change any of like my opinions as an anime only about how I feel about what he's doing.
And again, this is also dependent on how Isayama chooses to use the time travel thing. Yeah. Because again, remember that I had this debate that we've been saying about like whether or not Eren had free will because he saw that, and like the fate and choice, like that is a thing that Isayama needs to, at some point need to clarify on in order to really nail down how much control Eren has of the Founding Titan, his choices from when he got the memories, et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, we've got an Armin and Gabi combo coming up on the horizon.
We do.
And I really like Armin's rationale with this.
It makes sense. It's the only way that Gabi is the key to the actual alliance that could do something about this. Now, whether or not it's entirely too late to stop Eren is very much up for debate.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, I think that the key to figuring this out is still likely going to be involving the I'm blanking out right now. The Ackermans, as we know that the Ackermans are the only sort of Eldians that can't be controlled.
Okay.
And that's one of the only loopholes. However, Armin has to get allies, and right now the only allies that he is going to be able to find that are powerful enough to do anything are going to be the other Titan shifters.
Yep.
So
everybody else is a Jaegerist.
Yep. So it makes perfect sense, and I kind of fucking love this. Gabi has grown a ton as a character. The fact that she is willing to work with the colossal Titan,
dude. I could not believe it when she hugged Kaya.
Oh my gosh.
Because yes, of course, like they can make up and they can be like friendly towards each other, but like to hug the person who killed your sister.
Exactly.
Oh my god. Like,
yeah, no, it's no small thing.
No.
And that's one of the things that, like, we were talking about this earlier, is that the younger generation in this show is representing the ability to actually overcome the cycles of hatred.
Right.
It's the idea of children of the future, keep the children out of the forest, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really good that we're seeing that symbolism there, and we're seeing those beats of that cycle being broken with Gabi, you have to look at through the lens of being the radical version of what Marley was trying to create. And the fact that she was de-radicalized so successfully in all this and is able to completely reconcile, and not only that, actively seek out the friendship and love of the people that she once swore to hate with every fraction of her being.
Yeah.
And the fact that that has gone both ways now is
great.
Good job, Isayama.
That was a good.
Really fucking good job.
Yep. Not much else more to say about that because we're going to have to see how that pairing plays out in the next episode. But
agreed.
For now, we'll have to move on to Keith Shadis, the one and only, who has some very interesting words for the new recruits.
By the way, when you were saying this to me, like during the reaction, you I wish you waited like 2 seconds before he got, because at that point he didn't say you guys are sleeper agents, and then 2 seconds after you're like, no, he's telling them to wait and lie low, and then it's like you're sleeper agents, and I'm like,
I mean, well, because he was saying like there's a reason why I did this. There's a reason why I let you beat me up.
No, but that comes off as I let you beat me up so you wouldn't die.
Oh, I totally.
That's how that reads initially.
Yeah, sorry about that. But regardless, I guess, what do you think about the lying in wait? from Shadis, and will that play out at all in the season?
It will.
Okay.
Mostly because we know it's the final season of Attack on Titan, so I have to say it's going. Oh well, actually, it might play out in the movie.
Fair,
but it will play out by the end of the story.
Yeah.
Isayama does not like to plant seeds and will not leave them unturned unless it is the Berserker Titan.
Still salty about that?
I'm still fucking salty about that.
Hey, it might come back.
Maybe. But the fact is like, I think that Shadis doesn't have a plan. He is just being like, we need some people that understand that this is fucked up in the system so that one day this can get better.
Yep.
And it kind of goes into what Armin was talking about of like, we're about to repeat a 2,000-year war on this island over the Titan powers.
Yeah.
Because of this rumbling.
Yeah.
That is what's happening.
Because actually, let me think. Are all of the
Titan shifters are on Paradise.
Yeah. That's fucked.
Yep.
Oh God.
Yep. All 9.
I just thought about that.
Yeah.
Actually.
All of the Titan. Well, I mean, technically, Eren might be like a little bit in the ocean at this point. We don't know. But
that's
what's going on.
Yeah.
So take that as you will.
I didn't. I actually didn't realize that. I was like, there's got to be like one war, and I was like, Warhammer Titan. No, Eren's got that.
Yeah, there's not a single Titan that is not on Paradise, so they're about to repeat that war.
Wow.
In this portion, and it is going to be fucking crazy.
Yep. Again, not much else to say with Shadis because it literally is just as cut and dry as it is in the episode. Yeah. What isn't as cut and dry is mini Hitler over here, fucking Floch.
This is a Floch hate page.
Here's the thing, and I said this from the jump. Floch is the most not fascinating because like it's very one note, but as a villain and as a character,
well, he plays that one note really well.
That's the thing, and especially coming back from the episode where the Beast Titan killed all the new recruits. Watching his development from that point, and watching how that seed of hatred was planted there, it's crazy to see how it's blossomed.
So, Floch makes a claim in this episode that that Eren told him the entire plan, everyone, and they all need to trust him.
What do you think?
Fucking lying.
Really?
You want to know why I think he's lying? Because right now the only logic that makes sense for Eren to have started the rumbling was to protect his friends.
Okay.
Floch has hated everyone since the Irwin charge. He has despised Armin for getting the colossal Titan over Irwin. He has been literally he has been the person that has been there. He challenged Eren at the when they were being given their badges and their medals for saving the island and everything.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not Armin's friend. I don't have a say. I'm just speaking about this.
This is a person that has so much hatred, not for the people that caused this, but for the power systems that exist that his friends and loved ones are a part of.
Right.
In what world where Eren wants to keep those people safe is he going to put that man in charge of everything?
So, I'm not going to speak on the logic because, again, we have to wait and see for that. Because, again, valid points.
And there is a counterpoint that made me think about this. He cites kind of a bunch of things that Eren says about Jean.
Yes, as well as the thing that he's been saying where I helped Eren from the beginning, which, if we're thinking about this logically, the volunteer MP wine situation was not done the minute that Zeke came to Paradise.
No,
that was happening behind the scenes,
well beforehand.
Right. So, again, it's not out of the question that Eren and Floch have been working together. That's not out of the question. But what you're saying is that like he's like, I've put him in charge and he's now going to rule the island.
And I've known every single beat beforehand.
Yeah.
I knew that the rumbling was coming, that he was going to unleash hell and hellfire upon everything.
Do you think any of that is true?
I
do
not think for a moment that Eren let him know the whole plan.
Okay.
Because the other reason for this is simply that Floch has a loud fucking mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And would have given away the plan at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Floch is not the kind of person that comes off to me as trustworthy with sensitive information.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing with the wine and volunteers.
He did keep secret about that.
No, well, that is fair, but that wasn't orchestrated by him. He knew about that element, but also he wasn't the only person that knew about that element. Yelena, Zeke, and the other Jaegerist that he told. So
that's very true.
That's the thing, is that Floch is someone that really likes power, and there would have been other Jaegerists that knew about this plan beforehand. I'm not saying that he would have told the enemy, but there would have been other Jaegerists that knew what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, the fact that he's like the only sole person. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I agree.
There's so much that's pointing in the direction of he's taking advantage of the power vacuum that's being created. And not only that, I'm not convinced that that when Eren comes back, he's going to let Eren be in charge.
Do you think Eren's going to come back?
We have not seen an Eren POV since he turned into that thing. If Eren still has any consciousness to him, he's going to want to come back home eventually after stamping out the world.
Okay. Right.
That being said, I have no idea what's going on in his head right now. There's a solid chance that he's just turned into giant Titan scary thing and has no control over anything now.
Boogity boogity boo. Anyways, one thing I actually did want to mention to credit you and to also like to vindicate your point a little bit. He does lie in this episode. There's one lie that he tells. He's like, Mikasa asks, where's Captain Levi and Hanji? And then he says, oh, Zeke killed them.
Yes.
Which is not true.
Nope.
They escaped. So Floch does lie.
Yeah.
He is known to lie. I'm going to give you that.
There's not a moment of me that trust it. And again, just like if you're taking a look at Eren's motivation, which is everything for how we're understanding the show, and his motivation is the most in-character Eren motivation possible for starting the end of the world.
I like my friends.
Yes. It's like the worst version of the anime friendship trope.
Yeah. So those two things don't mesh. I like my friends. Floch, you're in charge.
Exactly. They're not those don't work.
Yeah.
Like if he were to have left someone in charge or had thought to leave someone, here's the other thing. Eren is smart at reading people and knowing who to trust. He's fucking stupid at plans. So I don't think he ever actually considered the fact that he was going to create a power vacuum the second that the walls fell.
I mean, only time will tell. I'm actually very curious if we're going to get answers in this part or if we're going to get it in the movie, because we will get answers.
Yeah.
I'm just very curious because they've already reordered some things. Yeah.
Well, this season will still have to have a climax. Hopefully, they don't pull another. Because the way that part 1 of season 4 left off, I really hope that we don't see that happen again.
Like a cliffhanger.
I don't want to see another cliffhanger to end the season.
This kind of leads us into our last point, where Levi is finally revealed to be alive, and Hanji approaches Magath and Peak. We don't know exactly for what reason, but this kind of leads into what you just talked about. Where do you think the rest of the season is going to go? Because we've now gotten 2 episodes in a row, and we're seemingly getting a third where we're on like this like low kind of mellow pace. How do you think it's all going to wrap up before the movie?
Honestly, I see it as being finding a plan for it's going to be the main focus from this point forward is finding a plan to stop Eren.
Okay.
And we're going to see all the pieces that we had talked about since the beginning of the season, how there's a bunch of people that would work very well together if only they were in the same room and understood each other's motives. And finally, through Armin's intuition of saying that this is what needs to be done, and Gabi having her arc and being the perfect mouthpiece for, no, we need to do this, we actually have all the elements that we need. So likely if we were to take a like story following point, we are likely going to follow Armin as he's putting all the pieces together, as well as Hanji. This hopefully will turn into we have a plan by the end of the season. From a climactic standpoint, there is also the additional element of Annie's out. And Annie is her own character right now with her own motivations of just get home.
Right.
We don't know where she's going to land on this. We don't know if she is, because like after 4 years in that kind of environment, you cannot confidently call her one of the Marleyan warriors. Annie is in it for Annie.
Right.
So she's going to be this extra element in here that's either going to cause conflict or solve conflict.
Okay.
The other elements here is going to be, I see the Jaegerist as being more of a long-term problem, so I think that we're not going to deal with them proper until the movie, but I could be wrong. Because we do know that Mikasa and Jean are going to be there, kind of being our viewpoint to whatever fucking madness is happening back home.
Yep. With the Jaegerists. They're kind of like in it while everybody else is doing their own fuckery. It's all chaos. Everything is...
I fucking love
everything's in shambles. We got to try and come together.
Exactly.
I don't have any other thing else to say unless you got something else to say.
I will be so happy when Floch dies.
Okay.
I will be so happy.
Here's the thing. I'm actually going to be... It depends on how crazy they get with him. Because, again, I know it's going to happen, but, like... the anime always adds that like extra spice. So like
they salt bay the manga.
Even when he dies, if he dies, I will still be sad to see him go. I have loved this character so much.
Ugh.
Love the character, not like his actions or his.
Yeah, no. He is a very dynamic part to season 4.
Love to hate him. Come on, that shit-eating grin when he was like, hey, I can't die just yet. You're telling me you don't love that like little cockroachy like...
Oh, no, I think he's a great villain. I fucking hate him.
Yeah, it's a love-hate.
That's all the time we have.
I'm assuming for you it's just a hate.
Oh, it's just a hate.
Okay, well, agree to disagree. Well, let us know what you thought about this episode down in the comment section down below. Do give the video a like and subscribe to the channel because we post videos all the time here on the channel. My name is Abraham, that is Ben, and this is 2Fast2Movie.
We're super close to 500 subscribers.
Literally 5 subscribers away. Do it now or you're dead.